Let's talk a little bit about triangulation with the narcissistic mother. Wherever a narcissistic mother is, it's as if a tornado has touched down. It will destroy everything in its path, everything it touches. Triangulation gives the narcissistic mother a tremendous amount of power. And again, narcissistic supply. Triangulation takes various different forms. It starts off lightly. The mother may say to one sibling, "Oh, your sister was asking about you. I told her you were doing just fine." The mother has that control. The mother may also say, "Well, your sister was asking about you and she said you looked fat." Or she says your children are not very well behaved. Or numerous other lies to upset one of the siblings. And this plants the seed. This is how it starts. So what happens is the narcissistic mother gains control of the communication, which is narcissistic supply or oxygen, and is also able to manipulate that information. Pretty soon, what you have is you have the siblings, the adult siblings. It could be also children still within the household, but predominantly adult children. Inherently, they feel bad that their other sibling has spoken bad about them. And they start churning up resentment. Now, while this is going on, the narcissistic mother is doing that with each other sibling, back and forth, until she causes such chaos within the family structure that nobody is talking to nobody else. And that's where the narcissistic mother gets such joy, not only from the power, but she's able to see the dysfunction, the anguish, the pain of one sibling. Now, there's an exception to this. In the narcissistic family environment, specifically within children, there's generally a child that is labeled by the narcissistic mother to be the golden child. That is the child that is best used to emulate the narcissistic mother. That is the child that can do no wrong. That is the child that gets all the favors of the narcissistic mother, the praise. And it's not only they get the praise, they're not spoken ill of, which the rest of the children, called scapegoats, feel bad about, because they know they're being spoken ill of. And it becomes a self-feeding, low self-esteem issue. So the narcissistic mother has a golden child, sometimes more than one, but it's generally only one. And they'll have several, if not one, scapegoats. The scapegoats are the quote-unquote bad siblings, the black sheep, the ones that are always doing wrong, the ones that cause them so much trouble. They'll talk about scapegoats to their friends, mostly in loving and caressing terms, such as, "Oh, I try so hard," or, "Oh, I am so concerned about Jimmy," or, "I am so concerned about Sarah." And this is a way where they're able to talk with derogatory terms about that scapegoated child. What happens in the triangulation is, slowly but surely, the children will not speak to each other. They'll have fragmented relationships. If they have to go to a common family function, they do so with hesitance. They'll usually throw barbs at one another. And I'm speaking from experience. They'll really speak negatively about their other sibling to their friends. But what happens is that the main crust of this is that the narcissistic mother is controlling all this. And she's sitting back and she's watching. And she's loving this. This is supply to her. She's controlling all these little puppet strings. Meanwhile, the siblings, who should be loving each other and be concerned about each other and have empathy for each other, are not speaking and have contempt for each other. And a lot of the times, and such as my case with my golden child brother, they don't really have the sophistication to understand what the mother has done and what the mother is doing. They just go along and buy it. They take the narcissistic mother at her word. A lot of times, and specifically in my case, there is a lot of money for the golden child to inherit. Now, what's interesting in my case also is my mother had set up a trust fund and made my brother part of the trustee package, I guess you call it, and pretty much left him everything. Her homes, her funds, everything. He even has more control over it than her husband, because she has the narcissistic power over him. He knows it. He's playing along. He's going for the payday. Each one of the other siblings were left $10,000. I've read this in a number of other publications, that the narcissistic mother will leave a piddly amount to each other sibling, while giving one sibling, the golden child, the large, vast majority of it. It's a big, even on the way out, they have to have something. They have to cause pain somehow. I don't care. I don't want a dime. I simply don't want a dime. The narcissistic mother does this again to create the rivalry between everyone. The narcissistic mother will give very, very cheap, poor gifts to the scapegoats. To the golden child and his or her children, they get very expensive, very elaborate, very nice gifts. Even get thrown a car. The scapegoats get, and I'm speaking from experience again, off the rack, the cheapest things they could possibly find. And they'll say, and this is common, they'll say, there's a gift receipt in there, you can return it if you like, without the dollar amount. They'll throw it in the box and give it to you. But it's usually a very inexpensive piece of garbage, maybe the wrong size, something you don't even need, something they didn't put any thought in. But triangulation, if the family unit is not aware of what's going on, is absolutely devastating to a family. And most children, specifically most siblings that have a narcissistic parent, either have very limited communication between each other, or they have no communication between each other, which is more often the case. What a shame that is. And what joy the narcissistic mother gets out of watching everything that she's conducted. She's in control. The best way to combat that, no contact. If you've identified your parent as being a narcissistic parent, zero contact. Get the hell out of there. Do not give them any oxygen. Do not give them any food. Do not give them any emotion to live. Let them stay within their own sickness and start on healing yourself. Because if you're an adult child of a narcissistic parent, I am telling you without a doubt from experience that I know you need to heal. I feel you, man. I know exactly what you're going through. And it's not only what you're going through now, it's what you've gone through your entire life because of this narcissistic parent. My mother happens to be something called a malignant narcissist, and quite frankly, a psychopath. She is, without a doubt, a psychopath. And relationships suffer a great deal. The way you think of yourself, your self-esteem, suffers a great deal. You have trusting issues. You know what I'm talking about. But if you have identified yourself as a child of a narcissistic parent, and you're sure of it, get the hell out of there. When I was 15 years old, I was out of my house. I lived in a friend's basement for 2 years until I was 17, where I could join the service. Get the hell out of there, no matter what it takes. Every single day will be torture. Tell me what you think. Have you had any contact with a narcissistic parent that conducted triangulation between you and siblings? I'm interested to know. Thank you.